Hey everybody, welcome to the Gimp Flip Classroom Lesson 3. This lesson is actually about working with the layers, something that I touched on in my previous two lessons, but we didn't actually really get into. Well, now we are really going to get into that. I got my webcam turned off to make things a little bit easier. I should warn you though, it's a little after 6:30. My wife is behind me actually, busy cooking us up a real nice dinner for tonight, and my dogs, since everybody is home, are acting a little crazy. My cat is actually right over to the right of me, sitting on my wife's laptop, so it could get a little funky during this lesson here. So please excuse any background noises and stray animals running into my computer here. Um, all right, so we're going to work with layers, and we're going to try to make this as quick and easy as possible. Remember, this is only a 15-minute video, so I have to go really quick. If I go too fast, that's fine. Pause it, rewind it, watch it again. It's that simple. So, first thing I'm going to do. Oh, you hear that beeping? Can you hear that beeping? That's my cat on my wife's laptop. Anyways, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a picture. So I got a really cool picture here. This picture is of me and Darth sporting. So I'm going to open that up. Darth Sporting is a sporting Kansas City fanatic. This picture was taken with me and him at the home opener of the 2012 season. Okay, so I have picture number 1 here. First thing I want to do is I want to see how big this image is. So I'm going to click on image up here and I'm going to go to scale image. Currently the image is 500 pixels across by 375 up and down. So I'm going to want to remember that, okay? So what I'm going to want to do now is I want to create a new image that's 500 across, 375 up and down. So cancel there, file, new, 500 across, 375 up and down. I'm going to go to advanced options. On this fill width here, I'm going to change this to transparency. I do believe I did touch on that in the last one. I'm going to click OK. Now, got a new image here. All I have so far in this one, if you look at my layers in this image, all I have is my background layer. This is good. So I'm going to shrink this down a little bit, and I'm going to go back to this one of me and Darth sporting. On this image, I'm going to press Control A. That is going to select the entire image. Control A means select all. Now I'm going to press Control C. That's a copy. It's going to copy everything that has been selected. Now I'm going to go back to my other image, which is this one. I'm going to make this big. I'm going to press Control V for paste. So now I have two layers. I have my background and I have my floating selection pasted layer. If I double click on that, I can call this Darth Sporting, press enter, and now it is actually a true layer that I can work with. So if I press this little eyeball here, I can turn it off, I can turn it back on. You can just see the background underneath. I can reorder them. Background is on top, but since there's nothing there, you can see right through it. See, that's what this checkered pattern means. It means it's invisible. There's nothing there. None of the pixels have been filled in. So that's one thing you can do when you're working with layers is you can reorder them. So if you want a certain layer to be on top, you can do that. I want my Darth Sporting to be on top there. Okay, so now I got two layers. I got the background. I got Darth Sporting, me with Darth Sporting here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another layer. Go here. Let's see. See what we got here. I'm going to find one. Oh, here's a good one. This is me and Seth Sinovic. He's the star left back for Sporting Kansas City. This picture was taken with me and Seth at a exhibition match before the start of the last season. So is that it? Nope, I got to find it here. It's going to be one of these down here. Let's try this one. There we go. Yep, there we are. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to check the image size of this. I'm pretty sure it's the same size because it's nice to scale your image. See, if I go back here to image and I go to scale image, I can see the size. But sometimes if you want to get the picture a little bit closer, because some pictures are bigger than others, you can actually scale it. You can change the scale of the picture here so that matches. But since this one matches, we're good. Click cancel there. Press Control A to select all, Control C to copy it. And I'm going to go back to this one here. This is the one I want to work with because it has the dual layers. I'm going to press Control V to paste it. And now I've got three layers. I got to change this floating selection pasted layer. Call this one Seth since it's Seth Linovic. And I'm going to press enter. Now I've got 3 layers. So if I turn off the eye here, you see me and Dar Sporting. Turn off this one, we got the background. So then I can just turn this one on, leave me and Dar Sporting off, etc. That's how you can view the various layers. I can take Dar Sporting, put it on top. We're always going to see the layer on top unless the eyes are turned off. So now Dar Sporting is on top, Seth is on the bottom. So I'm going to work these back around here. Oop, fix that. There we go. Okay, Seth on top, Darth on bottom, background on the very bottom. Alright, so now what I can do here is I can start changing these layers. I can make changes to these layers to make them blend in together, to do different things with them. Whenever you're working with an image and you want to change something specifically on an image, you always want to make sure that you have the proper layer selected first. Otherwise you can make changes to the wrong layer and thus mess everything up, and you'll be doing the edit undo quite a bit. I'm working with the Seth layer, so you can see the Seth layer is highlighted in blue. If I want to work with the Darth Sporting layer, I want to make sure it's highlighted in blue, and if I want to work specifically with it, I'd have to make sure I turn the eye off on Seth so that I could see it. But I actually want to work with the Seth layer. So what I'm going to do here is, well, let me show you this other thing first. Got the layer mode over here, which is normal. You can do some really cool things here by changing the layer mode. Like if I go to light and only, you can see it kind of just takes out some of the colors so you can see through it a little bit. Overlay is a very popular one. Kind of makes it look like there's ghost underneath there, which is really cool. These are different things that you can do to the layers, or to the individual layers, to make it so that it kind of adds a interesting effect to it. A lot of people like to play with these. Kind of get some weird colors there. I'm going to play with it right now in normal mode. But if ever you're doing a project, especially one of the projects that you're going to get an assignment for, and it says change the layer mode, that's where you do it right there, layer mode. Right now I'm in normal. I just do that drop down arrow and I can change it to one of these other ones. Okay, so I'm going to grab my magnifying glass over here from my toolbox. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to cut me out of this picture. So I'm going to do that by grabbing the free select tool. I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to start drawing a line around me. I'm going to go over here. Oh, I think I messed that up. Yep, I'm going to try that again. I'm going to go down here. Draw a line completely around me. Okay, so now you can see I'm kind of highlighted in this blinky line here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press the delete key, and now you can kind of see me in the background there. And actually, I should have done that differently. I'm going to edit, I'm going to undo that clear, and what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to move this out of the way, is I'm going to draw a line around Seth. So I'm going to go down this way, I'm going to go over here, go back up here, okay, so now I've got Seth held up there. I'm going to press Control C. Alright. Control C, I got that copied. And now I'm actually going to delete this layer. Delete. So now I'm working back with this layer. On this layer, I'm going to press Control V. There's Seth. Okay, I copied him. I selected that area by when I did that free select tool. I selected that area, and now Seth is copied onto this picture of me and Darth Sporting. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing, and which is the move tool, and I'm going to move Seth over here. I'm going to put him like so. Okay. Alright, now I got to make sure I change this floating pasted layer here. Layer name, Seth, enter. Okay, so now what I want to do here is I'm going to try to erase some of this extra stuff that's floating around Seth. So I'm going to come over here. You see how I got the images from the background in there? So I'm going to grab my eraser tool. I'm going to change the size of it a little bit. Okay. I'm going to take that selection off too. Let's see here. Okay, well I can't take the selection off, so I'm just go back to the eraser here. And now I'm going to erase some of that there. Okay, just kind of cutting some of this stuff out of the background here. Some of this extra stuff that probably shouldn't be in there. Okay. Just gotta be careful with your eraser because sometimes you get a little crazy with it and bad things happen. So, okay, so now I got this floating set there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I probably should do, I want to make it look like so he's coming from behind that. So let's see what happens if I move this down. Well, now you can't see it at all. So I got to pull that back up. And I wish there was a way I could kind of merge that in there. I don't know that trick yet. I'm trying to make it look like we're all standing together. Well, let me move this a little bit more. Here we go. So if I put it down here, it looks like he's kind of standing in front of us. Alright, so I'm going to grab my eraser again. I'm going to change this size down. I'm going to take out a little bit more of this stuff. Alright, and we got a little bit more background noise from the old picture over here. Definitely got a little bit going on in here. I have to change that size down a little bit more. This is actually a very crude way to do this, but now, let's see, if I take the, got some more stuff up here. This kind of needs to go away. Alright, so now if I take my magnifying glass, I set it to zoom out, you'll see now it looks like, oh, I got to move that layer down a little bit more. You can see it's still kind of floating on the edges there. Alright, so now it looks like we have a picture of Seth, Darth, and me all together. Now I can go up here, go to layer, and let's see here. I was going to try to flatten the layer, but that's alright. We will just kind of save it like that. Now what I'm going to do here, if I want to save this, I'm going to go save as, and I'm going to select the file type down here. I'm going to do this as a, oh, I can't do it that way. I got to do it like this. I have to go file, export to, select file type, and I'm going to change this to, I can do a GIF, or I can do a JPEG. A JPEG is a very popular version. I'm going to put it back where I got this from, which was in Data E Pictures. And it was optimized for NSG, JPEG. Okay, just gotta make sure you save it to the right place is all. Got a JPEG image, and I'm going to call this Darth Seth RJ. Everybody calls me RJ. So I'm going to click export. And this little image pops up. I'm going to change the quality. I'm going to keep the quality up high. And yeah, that should be good to go there. I don't need to change any of this stuff. Export. Great. Now let's see. I'm going to shrink GIMP. Okay. Now I'm going to go to where I saved it at. It was in here under pictures. I'm going to go to the folder where I saved it at. And there's the picture. So now if I just click on it, there's the picture. I just created it. I was using multiple layers, and now it looks like there's a picture of Seth, Darth, and me all staying together, kind of sort of, or maybe Seth just kind of wandered into our picture at the home opener of the Sporting KC game back in 2012. That is it, and there's the end of your lesson. So that is working with layers, okay? It's the real basic version of working with layers, but when you're working with other projects here in a little bit, that's how it's going to work. Enjoy.